and welcome to our Yahoo TV Facebook Live at San Diego Comic-Con. We're here with the ladies of the hit CW show, The 100.
Woo! Yeah!
They called us a hit.
And Eliza Taylor. Guys, if you want to leave questions for these ladies, you can do so in the comment section, but I'm going to get things started. I want to talk about that season 4 finale.
Let's do it.
It was kind of crazy, pretty intense. There was a major time jump. I'm curious if you can kind of tease the new characters that you guys are going to be dealing with this upcoming season.
The new character, like us being older, do you mean?
Well, there's a prison ship that arrived.
Oh, yes. Oh, the new character. Right.
Maddie.
Yeah, well, I've acquired a little munchkin by the name of Maddie. So, you know, we're going to get to learn about my relationship with her throughout season 5. But I've found like a little Nightblood, so it's kind of an exciting storyline for me.
Little baby Nightblood.
A little baba.
The three of you kind of take different paths at the end of the season. How long are fans going to have to wait for you guys to kind of reunite, or is that a spoiler?
Ooh, it is a bit of a spoiler.
We are going to reunite, but given the timing and all of that is quite the surprise.
Or are we?
Yeah.
What if we? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the world looks like after Prime Fire, after the Death Wave. Our journeys 5 years later down the road, trying to survive. They were back up in space again. It sort of parallels back to the beginning of the show, but the whole kind of journey of the 100 is like a reboot 5 years later, so it's completely changed, and it'll be really exciting.
It's completely like the script's flipped. You know, now instead of the 100 coming down to Earth, Clark's the grounder, and we have this prison ship, which just happens to be a couple more delinquents, also coming down to Earth. So, you know, Clark's the grounder now, and we have a new Sky people. But I also like our dynamic too, because we all have had our separate story and our separate like world. Like, you know, Octavia's the queen of the bunker, and Clark is on the Earth by herself with Maddie, and I'm in space with the space crew. So we go through a good transgression of 6 years without each other. So it's going to be really interesting to see our evolution as characters, and hopefully we do get to reunite.
Yeah, everyone has major responsibilities now, but they're all very unique.
And we're so spread out too.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed is the show is intense.
Yeah.
Just a little.
lot of smiling.
I went to college. Was there ever a moment, though, that really took you aback and just you were like, damn?
Yeah.
I mean, there's too many
So
to count.
many.
Yeah.
I think like even from season 1.
Yeah. It's like take a bad
Electrocuted
situation.
Ricky and hung some kids. And Bellamy got hung.
Yeah.
You know?
Upside down.
Take a bad situation and make it worse, and then it gets worse, and then just when you think Clark can fix it, it gets worse. And
Sorry, guys.
This one's like so adorable and it's just like killing people, like assassinating. I'm like, ugh. Okay.
Sword fighting is a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. Useless skill in my real life, but really fun in
You never know.
you never know in life.
Whip it out.
All right, we're going to take some of these questions now. I got one from Karen. She asks,
Karen.
if you could dress up on the floor of Comic-Con, what would you go as?
Oh,
Oh my God. I just want to do that.
that was your answer last year.
It's the truth.
You make a
I
really
still haven't
good,
gotten
you
to
make
do
a
it.
great Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you really would.
Yeah.
I was loving all the Wonder Woman costumes and the Amazons. I don't think I'd be Wonder Woman. I'd be one of the Amazons because they were.
What are the Amazons? Oh, God, people are going to
hot.
kill me.
Like Robin Wright's costume. Oh my God, killer.
I'd like to be
It's
Gollum. Yeah.
Marie, you're too attractive. I don't know.
I like the split personality thing of, I'm a Gemini, I can relate.
Gollum and Smeagol?
Yeah.
Give me your best one.
Yeah,
Give
like,
me your best one. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know why I don't mean to. Well, you should.
So, Comic-Con 2018?
Yeah.
Gollum.
I want to walk the floor one day.
Yeah, I haven't done
up.
it yet. It's been 5 years. We've got to.
We should do it this year.
Yeah, I did it.
You did it?
Yeah.
Oh, you beat us. Yeah, still haven't done it. Sorry.
Anyway.
We have a question from Bree. She asks, what do you want the viewers to see in Flashbacks?
Oh. I like the flashbacks.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
missed
they're
the
really cool.
flashbacks last year. Like, I missed them.
Oh.
Because we didn't have as many that last year.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
The classroom one you weren't in.
I wasn't in.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't
Yeah.
in that one either.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were.
I was. Yeah.
It's fun. It's so cool when we get to, like, be
I think there's-
teenagers again.
There's so
Yeah.
much story in the arc that they don't get to see, and there's so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
development of our characters,
Yeah.
about who we were in the arc, and
Yeah.
how that's changed the moment we got to the Earth and what we went through on the Earth.
And I think, like, for this year, it's going to be especially cool
Oh, yeah.
because
Those
we've got
6
6 years to
6
catch
years,
up.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I guess viewers would probably want to see what's going on in space, what's going on in the bunker, and what's going on Earth.
Yes,
Like, you know.
the flashbacks will be different, I think, for sure. Yeah, exactly. What happened within the 5-year
Yeah.
jump.
And how it's changed all of us. I'm
Yeah.
sure, I'm sure. Definitely.
Speaking of that Earth, you guys are running around the woods of British
Earth.
Columbia. It's rainy. It's
Yes.
muddy. Was there a day that was particularly gross on set?
Oh, there's. I had one.
So
Oh, a
many.
couple. Like, I mean, the last 2 episodes of last year, it was all snow, and we're in hazmat suits, which actually
Are not
are
warm.
not warm.
No.
They're made of like rubber, and rubber actually kind of sucks the warmth out of you, which I didn't know. I was like, oh, we're gonna be so warm because we're all covered, but it was the opposite. So it was very hard to do fight scenes and just be like out
And
in
warm.
it.
And just
Yeah.
be warm.
My favorite is when it's torrential downpour raining. Anyways, we live in a rainforest in British Columbia. It's not just a clever name. And then it's wintertime, it's pouring, you're freezing, and then they bring in the rain machines on top of it. So it's like frickin' freezing cold water, just like at Mach speed from fire trucks that they haul in. It's a lot of fun. We dress up good, but we're tough chicks out there.
Yeah.
It's not as glamorous as it looks. But
So now that you've had so much kind of ownership over these characters, you must have a really good idea of the proper direction to take them in. Christy asks, would you like to direct an episode one day?
I'd love to. I'm going to try and, we call it shadowing, where we shadow one of our directors and our showrunner and everything and learn as much as we can about it. So I hope to do that this year and maybe direct. Probably not this year. I'm not ready for that. I would definitely want a lot more practice.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool having the actors direct, like when Henry Ian Cusick directed. He knew all of us and knew the actors so well. What he brought to the table as our director, I thought was really unique and
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was pretty
so
amazing.
collaborative.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be really cool.
I don't really want to. I don't have much desire to direct, but I really want to shadow our director of photography. I'm more interested in how to work the camera and just lighting and how all that works. I think like there are so many challenges and problem solving that sort of comes with that, and I'm really excited to maybe be behind the camera on a scene as opposed to the director. That's my kind of goal this year. I want to shadow our DP.
That's cool. Yeah.
Rhonda asks, how long before we see Bellamy and Clark again? Are they going to torture us? Are you going to torture Rhonda?
Like with the Bullark thing.
Oh, here we go. Are we? I haven't been given any information as to whether or not we're going to torture you, but I hope not to torture you, Rhonda. That would be cruel.
Ooh, Rhonda. We'll torture you, Rhonda.
Yeah, Rhonda.
Well, okay then. So many shows are playing catch up when it comes to empowering their female characters. The 100 was on it from the get-go.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what's your favorite interaction from some of the girls who have watched your show? Is there one that stands out?
Man. We've all started recently doing these other conventions, and we get to meet these girls, and it's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's awesome,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel so grateful.
It's really emotional too. Like
It's
we've
so
had so many
emotional.
moments with fans where we're just like both crying, like oh my god, because we're kind of having an impact on each other's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's so. I mean, the way I felt when I watched Wonder Woman, for example, I felt. I teared up like 5 times and I got tingles just because, like, as a woman, especially in this industry and especially in this time period, it's important that we feel that we are empowered and that we feel equal and that we feel heard. And that, and it's very strange that for so long in the media it wasn't like that, and that breaks my heart. So I feel extremely fortunate to be kind of on the forefront of this with these girls and be able to give those girls watching that same tingly feeling inside that I felt when I watched, Gal Gadot killing it. So
What shows did you guys watch when you were young?
Oh, man.
What gave you that tingly feeling?
It was.
The Polka Dot Door was very emotional for me.
What is that?
It was like a really bad Canadian TV show for kids. No, that was a joke. No one's going to get it because no one lives in Canada. But
I watched, mine's Australian as well, so I don't know if, this is going like world. Okay, so the Australians will get this one. Ocean Girl was like this, it was this amazing Australian TV show. And it was just, it was for kids, and it was about like this girl who lived in the ocean and, Ocean Girl. Duh. And I'm not going to waste your time explaining it, but it was a very cool show about, a chick kicking butt.
I was a big Xena fan.
Oh,
growing up. I used to do it all the time. My mom loved it. Yeah. And I Love Lucy. And, I didn't even, I just watched it because it was my mom's favorite show, and I didn't even realize it. But now looking back on it, Lucille Ball was a badass.
Yeah.
She had her own studio. She ran it. She directed. One of the first female-driven sitcoms that killed it. And, she is a genius. Yeah. So, I don't know. I've always just expected women to be at the forefront. They've always been in my life. So that was just me.
Haley asks, can you describe every single episode of Ocean Girl?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Haley, get ready. Well, no. She goes into the sea.
Haley asks, are we finally...
Oh, got it.
Haley asks, are we finally going to see Raven open up about how she feels about her disability / mourn the loss of movement in her one leg?
I think that's a very just an interesting facet of Raven's character, because I think she, as much as she is strong and fierce, she still, I think, wears her heart on her sleeve, and it gets the best of her and comes out when she's trying not to. She's always trying to contain it. And so, I like the moments in the show we've had so far where you see her vulnerability, especially with her disability and especially with, the change it has brought upon her psyche and her persona and how she feels about herself, and also how she's rebuilt herself. I think this 6-year time jump is going to be really interesting for Raven personally, because it's going to show the evolution of that, of now living with this, with this new body for a long period of time, and where that's going to take her. So I hope so. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay. We have something here that you might not have noticed. We have a wheel.
Oh, the giant wheel with sparkly letters.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, no, I noticed.
No, it's right there. No, there you go. Okay.
Where's the hot dog?
So we call that the Wheel of Comic-Con. If you give it a spin, I will tell. It's going to land on a category, and I'll tell you what we're going to ask.
Oh, I see. I know it. I have a feeling I know what this is.
Yeah!
Nice. Good spin.
Thanks.
Strong. Yeah.
You're so strong.
Thank you. Ooh.
Okay, that landed.
Almost got porn. Thank God.
Yeah.
Why is that there?
I can't tell you. You didn't land on it.
All right.
That's audition.
Well, thank God we're not those kind of actresses. So.
What is
We
this?
could have been in one more.
One more turn. Yeah. All right, audition.
Tell us your worst / embarrassing audition stories.
There
if
were
you have
so
them.
many.
There's a lot. No.
My first audition ever. I was so nervous. They asked me how old I was, and I was like, my birthday's in 5 months. And they're like, okay, great. How old are you? And I was like, I had no idea my age or my name. I was so nervous. And they said, thank you. Have a nice day. And I didn't even get to audition.
Wow.
I couldn't even speak.
So you went
Full nervous mode. Yeah. I was like sweating, pit stains, whole bit.
Man.
My worst one. This is I really can't believe I'm talking about this.
Oh, just do it.
So I walked. This is like way before. Like I think I was about 21. It was my first little trip to LA just to kind of test the waters. Did not go well. I walked into a room and I got so nervous. I was wearing heels like this big. I was physically shaking so much and trying to read that I fell over. All I was doing was standing, and I just went. And they were like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, should I keep going?" They were like,
You're like on the ground.
You're like a wobbly giraffe with shaking papers.
It was so humiliating.
Okay. Look how far you've
I have
come.
PTSD from that.
I know that's like my first one in LA. It was like, I think it was like for Law and Order or something, some crime show, right? And I was like some like victim, and it was like really emotional, and I had to get to tears at the end, right? And so I do it, and it actually goes well, and I like the tears are happening, and I'm like, bleh! And then I'm done with the scene, and I'm all teary, and I'm like, that was my first audition. Like a total, literally, like tears, and be like, that was my first audition in LA. Like
you were proud of yourself.
I was, and I told the casting director like a dum-dum.
Yeah.
Like, hire me.
So
you
much
know?
for being cool.
So much for being a pro.
Well, that's good. It's not
That's
that bad.
actually,
I didn't get it though. But I thought it was totally fine, and then I remember calling my ex-manager at this point and being like, and she asked me how it goes, and I told her like, and then I told her it was my first one, and she was impressed, and she's like, no,
Don't do that.
don't you ever say that.
Supposed to be cool as a cucumber.
Right?
Like, okay,
Or you-
fine.
It would be bad though if you this is my third audition. Like you
Can't
just
stop.
This is my 8,000th audition.
My 556,000.
And they look at my resume, and I've only ever had 3 jobs, and tell them it's my 8,000th audition. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
not a
she's shit. Next. Yeah.
Like, this is my third audition.
Yeah.
Job number 3.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
God, I'm bummed because that's the end of our time.
Oh.
No, but listen, I just want to say this, and it comes from the heart. The 5th season of The 100 will air sometime next year, but you can watch the first 4 seasons on Netflix.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
From the heart.
Got porn.
Right?